Hey Arnold. Hey, what's up guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here to bring you another nostalgia rush. We're here to talk about Hey Arnold, which to me was probably one of the more boring of the Nickelodeon shows. And it's not really boring as you're watching it, it's more boring in recollection because Hey Arnold was very like, well, let's just kind of get into it. Hey Arnold, for those who don't know, was a TV show. The whole premise is that you have this, not orphan, but pretty much a kid who lives with his grandparents who live in a boarding house, who has a football shaped head and is just dealing with school life and usual, and his whole thing is that he's a super good guy and he always wants to do the right thing. It's not that interesting, to be perfectly honest. Just off that premise, what helps Hey Arnold kind of propel itself into like notable worth is like its side characters and some of the elements they throw into the episodes. I think some of the best episodes of Hey Arnold are really the supernatural ones, like the Ghost Train, or even some of the more ridiculous one like Monkey Man. Hey Arnold to me does its best when he's with like other people. Because the problem with Hey Arnold, I think as of rewatching it and kind of looking back on it, Hey Arnold had a lot of samey episodes where it's like, oh, there's a problem with a person, and Arnold's going to fix him. Like, I guess the thing is that the other episodes that I like so much are liked so much because of how different they are from the norm. Meaning they had to beat you over the death with the norm in order for you to like the other episodes as much. Like, for example, Lila as a character on her own is not that interesting. Like, at all. What sells Lila as a character is the fact that she's like that character that fucks Arnold up. Like, that's what she's sold on, is that she's that character who can fuck Arnold up. Because no other character can do it. But she can do it. That's it. And it sells her. I mean, we have our various, I think, what are they, 5th graders? No, they're 4th graders. They're 4th graders. They're 4th graders, and some of the other side characters like Gerald, Stinky, Helga, Phoebe, Rhonda, did I say Harold? Oh, what's his name? The super tall one with the long nose, and he's like country as hell. It's not Stinky. Is it Stinky? No, I don't think it's Stinky. He had a lot of weird ones. Like, and see, those characters had their own. Eugene. Holy shit, Eugene. God, the one thing I remember, Eugene will always stick out in my mind because Eugene's whole gag, if anyone doesn't know, is Eugene had the whole accident-prone thing. So, like, everything that happened to him is like, he's like that character who gets hurt so many times that at a certain point it just gets awkward. But like each of these side characters had, I'm not gonna say they had their own quirks, but they had like elements to them that made them appealing. Like Rhonda was the rich girl. I can't think of his name. It's gonna piss me off because I know it begins with an S. I want to say Slinky or Stink. Oh, it's gonna piss me off, man. It's gonna piss me off. And I'm probably thinking of another one because there's the super tall one, and then there's the dude who like has the giant long nose but's kind of short and wears the hat backwards and shit. And I can't think of his name either. I think like, and as I said, like some of the cooler parts about Hey Arnold was like the lore. Like everyone remembers the whole lore they did for Garbage Day or the Ghost, the Hunt at the Cemetery. I think what they called her, like she was like the walking bride of the shit. The Headless Horseman one, or the just some of the legends or myths. Like, I mean, technically Monkey Man and Chocolate Boy were myths in some sense, I believe. Well, I'm not totally sure about Chocolate Boy. I might be talking out of my ass with him. But I know, and that was kind of the cool thing. You had all these different myths and, you know, the whole thing about, and it was very, like, Hey Arnold is a very weird show in that sense because to me it's not memorable for its normal elements. So, I mean, its normal elements were fine. I mean, you know, yeah, characters deal with weight issues, being themselves. Like, what was it? The whole thing with Gerald having his tonsils taken out. So instead of being an R&B singer, he could only, like, his voice shot so low down, he talked in baritone. And he pretty much had to learn how to rock it because he couldn't. It's not like his voice could change back, but he didn't want to give up singing. Like, it has a lot of good morals and messages in it. But actually, that episode does bring up something I don't care for, Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold was one of those shows, and granted, all the shows were like this, but and Hey Arnold, it especially bothered me, is that I had gotten so used to the characters' defined personalities that there was like no continuity with certain aspects of their characters. For example, especially, and I noticed they did this every time it was like a group scene. If like a character embarrassed themselves or said something stupid, they would have the whole group be like collectively like, okay, that person's lost their damn mind. But if you knew the characters well enough, you knew some characters wouldn't respond in the same way, but they would still have them respond in the same way, which made no damn sense. I guess there is one thing I do need to address, and that is Helga. Because Helga was probably one of the most fleshed out characters in the show, while at the same time being like the first yandere I'd ever ran across. And granted, she's not like full yandere, but she was like the closest yandere we got. For those who don't know, yandere is like that girl who's who's in love with you to the point of obsession, like to the point where she would do some illegal shit to make sure that you stay with her. Like to me, that's Helga. Because they did the whole thing about her having the crush on Arnold. But let's be perfectly honest, how many people really cared about that relationship? Considering you have this character who's super goody-goody, and then you have fucking Miss Helga Pataki over here, who's like tsundere and yandere at the same damn time. Like, not super appealing. And then especially, because if you did the episodes focus on Helga, they were all dealing with like her family. And by the way, Helga's family is a piece of shit. So I kind of feel bad for her character sometimes, especially considering, I mean, it's so hard to kind of talk about. It's hard to talk about Hey Arnold because Hey Arnold has a lot of weird elements about it that I like, but I don't care for like the normal elements aren't as appealing. Like for example, let's think about it. What was the Hey Arnold movie about? About saving a park, if I remember correctly, which they've done in other episodes. So, and then they made it into a full movie with like random references to like Men in Black and shit. It was like, oh, and Helga finally confesses her love. That was an ongoing joke that really wasn't super appealing because the relationship in itself didn't. See, it'd be a different story, and I wish they had kind of told it this way. If you had every episode that Helga was trying to get her locket back or anything about her shrine or pretty much hide anything that would reveal her love for Arnold to her. I wish they would take those episodes and have those be mixed in with her development episodes with Arnold. Where Arnold doesn't hate her as much as she usually does. And maybe she gets a little bit nicer. That was like the one thing about that relationship I hated. I wouldn't have minded Helga x Arnold as much if it was like progressive. But like the entire show, they just made sure it was stagnant. Like they developed Helga, but they wouldn't develop the damn relationship. And they kept putting the relationship in front of you. And then when they introduced Lila, it was like, are you just trying to fuck with Arnold? And I think that was the other thing about Arnold. Arnold by himself is not super appealing. Because Arnold by himself is literally just the goody-goody, you know, I gotta help everybody. I mean, for God's sakes, half of the characters make jokes and references to it. About how he's super goody-goody. And how he, I think his name was Slinky, that's what I was thinking of. Anyways. How he was super goody-goody, and that's all he wants to do is help people. Which, you know, isn't a bad trait for a main character, but it's like that's like Arnold's defining trait. And then what makes Arnold the most interesting? When you throw him off his game, which is what Lila's character to me was essentially made for, to throw him off his game. Also, Arnold's grandparents are awesome. Point blank, we're not even gonna argue that shit. His grandparents are the shit. Pookie, Grandpa, fucking gold. The boarding house was interesting in its own right. I kind of felt like Hey Arnold was a very weird mix of like 3 shows thrown into one. Because you could have had just the school-related stuff be a thing. You could have had the boarding house stuff be its own thing. And then you could have had like the myth and legends of the city and town and aspects of it be its own thing. And they threw them all together. And that's what kind of helped Hey Arnold kind of move along through the seasons. Also, at some point, they started throwing in the subplot about Arnold learning about his parents, which I'm not gonna say I wouldn't care, but it's like, it's kind of like, why the fuck should I care? Like, that was like my biggest thing with that. Because Cat Dog literally did the same damn thing. By the way, still need to talk about that show. It's just kind of like, I care, but I don't care that much. because like his parents don't play a role, and it'd be a different story if his parents were referenced to and had some level of impact. But it literally just seems like shit happened. The parents went away and went missing / died, and now he lives in the boarding house. Like, as a setup, it's fine. And maybe if I gave a shit about his parents to a high extent, maybe then, you know, the parents would be more interesting. But as it was standing, it was just kind of like, oh, I guess we're going to learn about his parents now. Like, to me, I think my favorite episodes of the season, I think, like, the Garbage Day one was super awesome to me. Because it was like this super complex adventure of them trying to duck being dunked into the garbage can. And that's one of the early episodes, mind you. That was the episode. The entire episode was them running. Just fucking running. Like, we're not getting dunked in the garbage can of the damn train episode. Fucking love that one. Oh my god. I love the legend ones. Even like the ones where he's helping people. I thought the one with him and Harold and Eugene getting stuck in the tree, I thought that one was kind of cool. Not for the right reason, but I kind of like the interaction between, you know, Arnold playing the, you know, mediator while Eugene is trying to be super optimistic and Harold's being a dick because, you know, he's stuck in a tree and he's fat. Oh, what's the girl? Oh, Patty. I like almost all the episodes that involve Patty. The one with Helga and the one with Harold. I thought those were both good episodes, especially because Harold needed some fucking development. That's the one thing I also will give Hey Arnold credit on. Hey Arnold did a good job of developing all the characters, man. For the most part. I think almost every character had an episode devoted to them. Phoebe did, Rhonda did, Slinky did. I'm not going to get all the names, but fuck it. Slinky, Eugene, Helga, Phoebe, Susie? I feel like I just said a name that doesn't exist. I don't remember Lila getting... Oh, I will say one of the other cool episodes was the fucking weird alternate timeline one where they introduced, like, not Helga's, but Arnold's, like, cousin, I think. And it was, like, this weird reverse world where, like, I think, like, what was it? I remember two versions of it. I remember the one where, like, the cousin came and Lila was super into his cousin who was, like, a fucking, like, a fan fiction version of Arnold. And then I remember the one where they were like in the country and shit. I think that's literally the same one, and maybe I'm mixing them together. It's been a minute since I've actually seen the episode. I actually thought the other cool one was the Snow Day one. I thought the Snow Day episode was pretty fun. Or even the field when they first got the vacant lot and you had to play the fucking 5th graders in baseball. Or the football one, like the 5th graders kind of worked as a good antagonist / like trigger for shit. Like they worked as catalysts in certain episodes, and that's why I like them. You even had the episodes with Gerald and his brother Jamie being a dick. The one that I think the one that almost every guy felt bad for Gerald in was the damn one about his older brother taking everything from him, and then the girl he liked he was starting to go out with, but the girl was super interested in the older brother. The older brother was trying to warn him. He was like, I ain't hearing that shit, you're just trying to take something else from me. And it all kind of turned into some shit. Like, oh, that hurt me, man. Man, you feel bad when you see characters get dogged out. Because Joe had to kind of like take it as like, man, this is some bullshit. I actually like the Helga and her sister ones. Primarily because of the interesting dynamic between them. Like the Helga sister one where, what's her name, Olga? Olga's not like terrible, but like Olga's like that weird type of like super nice, but like you kind of think that she has like she's two-faced about it. Sometimes it's not easy to think she's fucking stupid. I thought some of the episodes were great. Like I think one of the first few episodes she's introduced in is the one where she becomes a substitute teacher, and Helga spends the entire episode trying to break her down. I thought that shit was gold, particularly because Olga's like one of them type of girls that like you don't hate, but like you wouldn't mind seeing her get smacked down. Like she's one of those. Fucking love that shit. I'm a terrible person. I remember all this. I remember a lot of the specific ones, like the pumpkin contest. That it was Stinky, Arnold, Harold, Eugene, Gerald, and they were like building this pumpkin, and it was cool. I think at the end of it, they ended up like making a clubhouse out of it and playing cards. Some of that shit I wish just carried over in continuity. God damn it, shit was cool. Fucking, I don't know, man. What was the other one I'm thinking of? You know, the Rhonda being poor episode. Phoebe abusing being hurt by Helga, because Phoebe was like Harold's Phoebe was Helga's like lackey, so yeah, there was a lot of cool episodes, man. It's like Hey Arnold's one of those ones where like I like it, but like I don't know if I like it out of genuine it's a good show or just because I watched it when I was little. Because it's kind of boring in certain aspects. Like I think the most boring episodes are the episodes that kind of build itself on, which was the weird ass, which was the whole there's a person who has a personality or problem. Fucking Arnold, go save him. Like, those are like the most boring episodes. I thought the best ones were the ones that didn't focus on Arnold at all, which is kind of bad considering the show's called Hey Arnold! Anyways, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Ramadan enough. Yeah! Woo! Please follow me on my Facebook and my Twitter. Support me on Patreon if you wish. And what should I touch next? I'm thinking about touching cat dog since I brought it up in this video. What do you think? I need to put out a straw poll. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a straw poll with some suggestions. And that'll be the next one I do, whichever gets the most votes. Anyways, that was a game, but a win. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace! Oh.